Oh my goodness. So I was sitting here working on some stuff to get ready for the Mother's Day Bazaar that I'm doing in town outdoors. And I thought, oh my gosh, why am I not recording? You guys might want to make this as a gift for mom or for friend or for who knows what. And you could change it up. So I'm going to show you what I'm doing. But first, we need to grab our verse of the day. We'll just do the first one. Proverbs 13:11 says, dishonest money dwindles away, but whoever gathers money little by little makes it grow. So that is our verse of the day. So I'm going to show you what I'm making. But first, I don't know if you remember, but I showed you already, I think. Oh, I can't open this. Why are you stuck? Oh no, it's stuck. There we go. Okay, I showed you how to make some little pockets to put tea in. And I added a honey stick, and then I just packaged them in here, and I'm going to sell them for $3. And I've got tons of them in here with different, different color schemes, that kind of thing. However, I thought I'd make something just a little bit different. So this is what we're going to be making. And it is a tea holder, but you could do hot cocoa. So I've got some of them packaged up already. And then I have these two that are not enclosed yet. So you open it up. You've got space for writing a note to whoever you're giving it to. Just a tiny bit of decoration. And a couple of different kinds of tea. And then this here, because I'm leaving it open for people to see, because the other ones won't be open, I did not tie the bow through both eyelets, but typically you just untie the bow, put it through here, and tie the bow right here. You see what I mean? And then I put it in a plastic little sleeve, and I put the price on the back. And I'm going to do $4 for these. Now, after my event, if I have any left and you guys want some, I'll go ahead and put them in my Ko-fi site. They will be a little bit less because you have to pay shipping. And my thought is, because this is not totally flat, it probably would have to go as a large envelope, which is, I think, $2. Anyway, then the other one I've got that I did not close is this one. A little bit more decorating, but still two different types of tea. And again, this would be tied through this as well once it's ready to go. But I got to have some, something for people to open and see what in the world is even in the packaging. So do you want to learn how to make these? Unfortunately, there's measuring. So what I'm using, you can use anything, but what I'm using is double-sided scrapbook paper. And then I'm using single-sided scrapbook paper that's plain. So I think this goes, does this go with it decently? I think maybe. Anyway, the first thing you need is a square that is 4 inches by 4 inches. I don't know if we're going to use this one or not. It doesn't match perfectly. But I also don't know if I have pink. Okay. Oh, so let's start here. You need a cutter. And the first thing we'll cut, this is the outside, what you're going to see on the front and back, okay? So we want this to be, let's see, 11.25. So I'm using a 12 by 12. So this is 11, and that is 0.25. Okay, so then, come on now. Then I'm going to go ahead and trim off the edge. And I'm going to keep the scrap. So we have the length we need. And now I'm going to turn it. And we're going to cut it at 4.75. So there's 4.5. There's 4.75. Make sure it's straight. And cut. And I may as well do one more. There is enough to do 2 with a 12 by 12 sheet of paper. And then this I'm going to set aside because we might end up using that. Okay, so that is our first. And which one do I want to use to show you? I'm going to set this one aside. And then with this, I'm going to use a scoreboard just because I have it. If you don't have one, you will have to measure. But we're just going to take this lengthwise. Which way do we want to go? Oh gosh, does it matter? This bud's going up, this bud's going down. This bud's going down, this one's going up. I don't know if it matters. Anyway, I'm just going to put it on here. And we're going to score at, let's see, a half. So score it a 1/2 inch. Okay. And then score it 1 inch. And then come over to and find the 5.5. So score it 5.5 inches. And then 5 3/4 inches. And then 10.5 and 10 3/4. So that's our scoring for this. And why did we do that? Well, okay, the end pieces here. I don't know if you can see, there's 2 lines. So this outside line, we're going to fold in. Or, oh, wait a minute. Or if we had this as the outer cover, we could fold it in like this. What do we want to do? Do we want, I think I'll do this as the outside on this one. No. See, you have so many options. This is going to be the outside on this one. So I'm going to fold this in and come to the other side and fold this in. Now, this is easier with paper that's not too thick. If you use that really thick scrapbook paper, you're definitely going to want to use a scoreboard just because it's so thick. So we have those folded in, and then I need to zoom in a little. And then do you see the middle 2 lines? We need to just fold them. So there we go. And then there, where's the other? I will try and put the exact measurements as to where to cut and where to crease with the scoreboard in the description box. Okay, why that little middle thing there? Because look, we're creating kind of a miniature spine. It just gives a little more room for the tea packets to go in there. So these pieces that we fold over, we now need to glue them down. And make sure you're using a glue that's strong enough that it's going to hold. That tape runner thingamajig, you know, where you just run some tape down it. No, don't use it. It won't hold this. And your stick glue, I don't think that's strong enough to hold it either. And actually, if you don't want to get glue on your surface, grab an old book page and glue. And then I'm using a paper towel to do this just to catch any extra glue. Okay, and always put the lid back on your glue so you don't go to use it later and have it be hard as a rock. Okay, so this is the outside. Or is this... No. Oh my gosh, it looks like it's upside down. And anyway, see? Pay attention to your papers, but it's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. Okay, we're just going to use it like this. Now, this here we can now set aside for a minute, because what we want to do is create that inner pocket that the T is going to go down in. Now the question is, will this color look okay on the inside? I think it looks okay. We have a bit of polka dots. I've got one pre-made here that I sewed the edges, but we're not sewing. That wouldn't match anyway. Okay. What do we do? What do we do? Well, we need plain paper. Well, no, it doesn't have... Look at me. It doesn't have to be plain. You just need paper. I'm just trying to think what might go with this. I'm going to take my scrap paper and I'm going to come over to, my other paper here. And I'm going to look really quick. I don't know. Is that... What would that look like on the inside? This does not need to be double-sided because we're going to glue it down. And I'm just going to go ahead and use this because I don't have a lot of 12 by 12 paper at all. I'm just getting down there. Yeah, anyway. So we need our cutting board. And for the length, we need, is it 10.5? Wait, okay. So if we're looking at our paper this way and we're going to cut it, we want to cut 4 inches. So if I have here, we'd be looking at this as the top. I think I'm going to turn it around. The hardest part is figuring out the direction of your paper. I should have done this with paper that didn't matter. I don't know. Okay. And then, let's see. Now we need 10.5 inches. So there's the 10 and there's the half. And then we just cut it off there, set the scrap paper aside. All right. Now with this one, you guessed it, we have to grab our scoreboard again. And looking at your paper, the top of that, okay, here's the pre-made pocket. This is the top, okay? This is the bottom. So when we're doing this with photos or something that's directional, you need to think, which do you want to be the top and which do you want to be the bottom? I think I've decided this way. So that means turn it like this, okay? I hope this is making sense. Now, we need to score at 1 3/4. And then we need to go find the 3.5. Okay. And then 5.5. And then 7. All right, we got that. Now, if you look, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 lines, and then a good big space. Start down here, and we're going to fold like that, okay? And I'm going to crease it, okay? And then, so we have that. Now we're going to fold on the next line up, okay? And crease that. And then the next line is down, crease that. And then the last line, fold up and crease that. So now we have the basis of our pockets where our tea is going to go in. Let me grab a bag of tea here. Okay, so it'll go, you know, in here and in here, right? So how are we going to get this to stay together? Well, okay, grab some glue and turn it upside down. And I'm going to put, just shove some glue in there, shove a little glue in there, and press it down. That's going to help, okay? And then I'm going to put my lid on my glue. That's not going to thoroughly hold it down, though. What we need to do next, we're going to cut small pieces to go here and here to hold it down. So that is where, again, if this is in here, what do I want to go here? I'm going to come over to my scraps. Do I want to use some of that? No. Do I want to use some of that? Some of that. I mean, this would match perfectly. Let's just do that for now. So you're going to need your cutter again. And what you need to do is you need to cut 2 pieces that are 1 inch by 4 inch. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to go, there is a 4 inch. And then let's put it here. And there is our 1 inch right there. Ooh, is this one going to be 1 inch as well? Ooh, it's very close. So let's just cut. Whoa, whoa, get back in there. Come on, hold still. There we go. And I'm going to keep the scraps. All right, we're done with our cutter. But we do need the scoreboard only one more time, okay? Where did I, oh, right here, okay. So these here, what you're gonna do is you're going to put it in like that and crease at the half mark, 1/2 inch. And then do the other one at the 1/2 inch. And we are now done with this scoreboard. Okay, and we need to take this and fold it in half. Now, I'm going to fold it this way to, look at that, I didn't do even. And then I'm going to fold this way and see what actually looks best. Let's bring this back. Would that work? No. So we want to cut it. Do this. How is it that this is too big? Did I not pay attention? I lied about the cutter. I needed 1 inch by 4 inch. Did I not pay attention? There's the 4 inch. It is 4 inches. How did that end up being not? Something went wonky. I must have cut this wrong. That's okay. We can roll with it. Roll with it. That's why I absolutely hate using the measuring. I hate measurements. Because here I thought I did it right. The measurements that I gave you, they are correct. I just did not pay attention. So in this, we are going to get glue all over the inside here. And then we're going to take this and I'm going to line up the bottom. That way I can trim the top off. Oh, hey, come on. There. Bottom's lined up. And you see, so that some is on back and some is on front. And we're going to press that down. My glue is not a very quick grabbing glue. So I got to make sure to hold it. And then I'm going to come in and I'm going to trim off the wonky top. Just like that. And then this side. This is where if you don't want to use these two pieces on the edges, you could take it to your sewing machine. And hang on, and I'll grab the other piece that I did do that with. And I'll show you how I did that. We're just putting this piece on now. And kind of squishing down to make sure that glue grabs. And we'll trim off that tippy top. Okay, I want to make sure those are staying, and we're going to give it a minute to dry. Here's what I mean. You can just sew down the edges here. You could even sew carefully along this, but it's a pocket, so just make sure you're not sewing too far up. And you could sew the top too. But I found that that just frustrated me. So, yeah. Now, this, what we will do is we're going to come in here and glue it right in the center. But because it blends in, I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab gathered twigs just because it blends in a lot. And I'm just going to go around the edges. I haven't been doing this because it hasn't been necessary, but I think this time is necessary. So that will get glued down in there to hold those tea bags. But first, what we want to do is line up these two edges here. You see, right there. Line them up, and then grab a hole punch, or I've got this Crop-A-Dile. I'm going to use the biggest hole. I'm going to just eyeball the center and chop. Now, keep in mind that you just chopped through one, because we folded it over, 2 layers on each. So it is sturdy enough. You don't need to use any, oh my gosh, eyelets, any eyelets. I'm going to use eyelets just for fun. Should we do silver? No, let's do gold. Just so I can show you the way I've been doing most of these. So I'm going to grab an eyelet, put it in there, and squeeze, and there we go. And let's do this back one. And squeeze. There we are. Now, what's that for? It is to take, lace or sari silk. I don't think I want this one. Or that's sari silk. Nope. Or maybe some fabric that's been ripped, or I don't know what this is. I got it from a friend. Neither one is really the right color. Those are almost peachy. Let's see. Is that the same color? Rib, I don't know what it is. Let's see. No, this is lighter. So let's put this away. Where's the end? That's coming close. This is a no. But I'm really thinking pink. I want actual pink. Let's see if I have. That's not really the right pink. Boy, is this the right pink? That's the closest, but I will say it's a little wide. Well, we're gonna roll with it anyway. I don't even care. Oh my goodness. But we have to get this tape off. There we go. Okay. And I'm going to see how I got that wonky there cut. This is going to just go in my scraps. And here's what we're going to do. I'm going to kind of ball it up. I'm going to come through here. Hey. And before cutting it, here's what I like to do. I like to do my bow first. And then cut it off, leaving some extra. So I'm going to take it out, but at least now I know how long I need because it is going to go through both holes. So the next thing we want to do is find a piece of paper that is blank that could go here that will look decent with this so someone could write a little note. And I don't think that's the right color, my friends. What about just plain white? Let's see. Or I have this kind of off-white. Does it match that? I think it actually is pretty good. And so remember I said this needed to be 4 by 4. So we do need to get our cutter out again. And we need to go, there's the 4. And then turn it and cut at the 4 there. And that should be good to go. Bring this back over here. Oh, you know what I need to do? Because I did it to that, I do need to come and do the edges. But that was fairly quick. Okay, so now this piece of paper here, we can actually attach it with any glue we want because it's a thin piece of paper. Just make sure that your glue gets on all the edges because we do want it to make sure that it stays down. You know what I'm saying? And then come and just eyeball the center. I think that's pretty good. I'm going to grab this little card just to squish the air bubbles out. Isn't this cute? We have this little potato donut shop in town. It's new. Yeah, so this is a card that has never been used and cannot be used. But it tells you it's in Prineville. All right, so now we don't need that. Now this, don't use your stick glue. It needs to be a glue that's going to stick fairly well and strong. I'm going to use this. If I had some, what do you call it? It's art glitter glue. I would use that. But I'm using this just because I know that it will grab and hold fairly quick. And I'm just spreading a thin layer over everything. And then we'll eyeball the center for this. Get the lid on. Okay. And then I do want to make sure to get any extra that might ooze out. Hopefully, I didn't put way too much glue on this time. But if you know me, it's highly possible. I am notorious for using too much glue. Anybody else? Oh, boy. So I would love to be able to make one of these and give it to my mama, but she is in heaven. Anybody else have a mama not here anymore? I do have a mother-in-law, and I am going to send her one of these, even though I don't know she drinks tea. I think she tends to drink coffee. But it's the thought that counts, right? And what I do is I just write my little message in here. Now, you could decorate this. What I was thinking was just something simple, like maybe a little flower. Let's see. Purple is not going with that. I'm thinking we need pink. And I have that tiny pink one. We could just do that. And of course, because this is a really thin piece of paper here, I can put it on with my glue stick, And I'm just going to go down there in the corner. There we go. Now, we need a couple of T's. And why don't we go ahead and use this pink one? And then, let's see. What about this? In the back. Like that. Oh my gosh, excuse me. I'm not editing, so that's just gonna be there. Okay, we've got it. Yay. Now, you could put something on the front that is like a focal point if you want to. First, what I'm gonna, well, do we need a focal, hold on, let's see. Do we need a focal point, guys? I don't know that we do. But I've got this little bag of flowers. See, I just think that would be too much. We could put it down there. But it doesn't really look right to me. I don't know that I have any other pink. I mean, we've got this green. And it would cover up the fact that that's almost upside down. But is that too much? I mean, That's not really the right color. But if we wanted to do this, we could always give it a backdrop. No, I think I'm going to leave it like this because I like it. So you do whatever pleases your eye. We're going to put this through the bottom and bring it through the, hello. There we go. Bring it through the top. Let's see if we can make sure to get it even. And then we'll tie our bow. I also am not good at tying bows usually. So there's that. But I guess practice makes perfect. To get better at something, you have to practice, right? Come on. I don't want you too big. Let's see. Yeah, not too bad. Oh my gosh, I really actually like that. And then what I do is grab one of these clear bags. I think I want it to go in this way. Like that. Move these over to the side, if possible. Come on now. And then take the, whatever that is, off. And fold it over. And it gets a little sticky price tag. There we go. Yay! So now you know how to make these. And I know, I had a hard time making up my mind with all kinds of things, but I will take my notes here and I will put them in the description box for you. That way it's less confusing. So thanks for being here, you guys. Let me know in the comments. Would you purchase this for $4 at an outdoor bazaar to give to a friend, a mom, somebody else? Would you make this to sell on your tables? Or would you stick more with something like that for the $3? Let me know in the comments below. And can I ask you a humongous favor? Can you click the thumbs up? I can't explain how much I would appreciate that. And I will see you guys here again tomorrow. Bye.